Hey guys, Math Mom here, and today I'm real excited to talk to you about prime factorization. Now, prime factorization is a really big word, and it's not as hard as that big word sounds. But if you haven't watched the video on factoring, then you may want to go back, find the video that's called Factors, watch it first, brush up on what your factors are, come back, and we'll talk about prime factorization. Prime factorization is simply listing all the prime numbers that multiply together to create a number. Now, if you didn't go back and watch the previous video, prime numbers mean they are only divisible by 1 and themselves. It's like the number 3. The only numbers that multiply together to give you 3 are 1 and itself. So we're going to list the prime numbers that multiply together to create a larger composite number. So let's start with the number 18. And there's going to be more than one way to work this problem, so don't get discouraged if your answer doesn't sound like my answer at first. But we're going to ask ourselves, we're going to create a factor tree. Makes it sound a little bit more fun, right? A factor tree to come up with all of our prime factors for the number 18. So the first thing we ask ourselves is what two numbers multiply together to give us 18? I chose the numbers 2 and 9. 2 times 9 equals 18. So these are two of our factors for the number 18. Now I circled the number 2 because it is now a prime number. So it can't go any further. That's the end of that part of the tree. But what about the number 9? Is it prime? It's not. So let's factor 9. What two numbers multiply together to give you 9? 3 times 3 gives you 9. And again, 3 is a prime number, so we want to go ahead and circle those. I circle them, that way we don't lose them. So these are all of the prime numbers that are going to multiply together to give us the number 18. So the prime factorization for the number 18 is 2 times 3 times 3. There's another way to write this, and that's using exponents, or that little number 2 that we see on that bottom row. We could also write this as 2 times 3 to the second power. The 2 is the same because we have the 2 as one of our prime factors. Then we have the number 3 because we have that as one of our prime factors as well. But how many 3's are there? There's 2 of them. So the power, or the exponent, 2 tells me that that's how many 3's we need in the prime factorization of 18. Let's try it again with the number. Oh, before we move on to another number, I told you there's more than one way to do it. So when I asked you what two numbers multiply to give you 18, you may have said 3 and 6, and that's okay. Because if we do the factor tree for using 3 and 6, we come up with the same prime factorization. One difference you may note is that the order of the numbers are different, but that's fine. When we write prime factorizations, we write them in numerical order. That means we write them from smallest to biggest to largest. So 2 times 3 times 3, or 2 times 3 to the second power. So now let's look at our next number. What two numbers multiply together to give me 54? Again, there could be more than one right answer to this, but I chose the numbers 6 times 9. 6 times 9 equals 54. Now, neither of these are prime numbers, so we're going to have to go work with both of these. Let's start with the one on our left, the number 6. 2 times 3 is what we multiply together to give us 6, and 2 and 3 are prime numbers, so we're going to go ahead and circle those. Then we need to go ahead to our number 9 and list the two factors that multiply together to give you 9, and that is 3 times 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. Now, at the end of our prime factorization tree, we have all prime numbers, so we've done our job. So how would we write this? We would write the prime factorization of 54 is 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. If you wanted to use exponents, you would say 2 times 3 to the third power. Why the third power? because there are 3 threes listed in the prime factorization. Now's your chance. Let's try the number 30. You pause the video here and list out the prime factorization of 30. If you wrote 2 times 3 times 5, you're correct. Now, your tree may look different than my tree. I chose 3 times 10. 3 is a prime number, so I circled it. Then I factored the number 10, which gave me 2 times 5. Both of those are prime numbers, so I circled them. Now we do want to make sure we write them in the correct order, which is just smallest to largest. So the prime factorization for the number 30 is 2 times 3 times 5. You could have also chosen 2 times 15 to give you 30. Then you would circle 2, and then you would find the factors of 15, which are 3 times 5, would have given you the same answer. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one way to create a factor tree to get your prime factorizations. I hope this video is helpful. It's a pretty complicated concept, but I hope we broke it down and made it a little easier for you. If this video was at all helpful, please like and subscribe to Math Mom for more math tips and tricks along your math journey.